Hi everybody, I'm live again. Yeah, it's time for the um, Russia with Love from Russia with Love for Bond film review with spoilers, and I've written them down because from Russia with Love it's a bit of a spy thriller in that, obviously being a Bond film, but it is quite like oh, complicated plot line. So it does get a bit so like, oh yeah, what's happening and that, and I'm not all that good at remembering plot lines when there's not much action going down. So yeah, I wrote it down though. But let's get the picture though. Oh, oh, yeah, get the thumbnail picture because then I can use that spoiler thing and that when the spoilers come on. See, there we go. Right, now I've just got to share it. Share screen. Yep, there we go. Be from Russia with Love. Great film, though. Great film. Like, Roger Moore, he's back. Yeah, kicking ass and that, slapping some bitches. Well, they're not big, but the bitch to Russia because being defected. But anyway, yeah, it's like one of them slow burns, though, because as I say, there ain't much action going down until you get like about half hour in. But well, there's bits of action in that, but it's not as actiony as Bond films um, are known for. Because it was like the second Bond film, so I think it was a case of right, we want to get some good action in it, but we don't want to go all out action just in case it doesn't make that much money in that. So there was still umming and ahhing on whether the Bond franchise would take off as well as it did. So they're not going to go crazy in that. Well, yeah, great film though, great film. Roger Moore being like Bond for the second time and that, so he like pretty confident in that, and great cast and all. Um, gonna get the cast up. Um, yeah, here we go. 1963, you know. That's the fucking Doctor No's cast. What the fuck? So from Russia with Love. Fuck. What the fuck is with this? Just bringing up Dotson. Oh, that's fine. Oh. Yeah, yeah, I did 2 million budget and that. Um, can't get the cast. Oh, well. Yeah, Sean Connery as James Bond. Show you the like Wikipedia fucking. Um, yeah, Sean Connery as James Bond. Pedro Am made Amandas as Al Kembe, head of MR6 station in Istanbul. Lottie Lorna as Rosetta Klebb, Spectre number 3, a former Smash Colonel turned Spectre operative. Yep, because she's the one who you'll have definitely seen it if you've seen any Bond clips. Is the shit, fucking, we don't want that. Moving up, yeah. Um, uh, yeah. Still got it in the DVD player in that. You played it there. Okay, hopefully that wasn't enough for it to be copyrighted. Because I know what these cunts are like. Oh, you played them. I was like, I didn't play shit. You fucking um. Chapter fucking selection fucking bit just started playing it. But anyway, yeah, she, as I was saying, Loretta Lena as Rosetta Klebb is the oldish woman who's quite small, who's trying to kick James Bond with her knife boot. That, well, the little dagger she has in her boot that you've seen, sort of thing. It's spoiler alert, but um, it is one of them scenes where you do see it quite a bit. Well, yeah, Robert Shaw as Desmond Red Grant as a cunning Spectre assassin and one of the principal Bond enemies. Yeah, Robert Shaw, as we know, he's the sea captain in Jaws, who in this is like the top Spectre assassin they send to try and kill Bond. Bernard Lee is Daniela Bacchini as Titania Romanova, a Soviet consulate clerk and Bond's love interest. Fleming based Romanova on Christina Gravel. Blanche dialogue was dubbed by an uncredited Barbara Jefford. Oh, right. I didn't know that because yeah, I've just watched it and it was good dubbing. Although she didn't have that many lines. Well, she has quite a few lines, but not as many as obviously the main character. But because she's the main Bond girl, she just but good dubbing then because like yeah, I couldn't really tell. Um, Annie Grayson as Celia Trench, Bond's semi-regular girlfriend. Oh yeah, she's from Doctor No, who wants who you see the first woman you see talking to Bond where she's at the casino and she wants to play golf uh, and that she's sort of like back in it. Well, only for like a cameo bit at the beginning. And then Walter Gottel as Mortenzli, Inspector Thug, who trains personnel on Spectre Island. Oh yeah, he's um, in it quite a bit, as in the Bond franchise, because he um, does play a Russian and all. So I think he plays like he's one of them who's been in a Bond film twice, but has played different characters. Um, Francis D. Wolf as very chief of a gypsy tribe used for dirty work by Kemi Bay. Yeah, Kemi Bay is the Dodos, um, a contact in Istanbul, like Turkey, the Turkish contact for Bond. Um, George Purcell as trained conductor on the Orient Express. Yeah, all right, yeah, well, Niger region as Kemi's girl. Oh yeah, she's his sort of girlfriend that he has in his office. Lewis Maxwell as Miss Moneypenny, secretary. We all know Miss Moneypenny in that, and yeah, um, Lewis Maxwell. Yeah, she played Miss Moneypenny for like I think 20 or at least I think maybe 15 at least of the Bond films. So she is the Miss Moneypenny. Well, you should like say that. And Alvin Garrett as Martin Benswick as Vader in red and Zora in green, respectively, two jealous gypsy girls who are disputing the same man. Yeah, Jakob Shelbo as Kronstein, Spectre number 5, a Czechoslovakian chess grandmaster and Spectre agent. Um, Leela as Gypsy Dancer. Yeah, yeah. Talking about actors who play two different roles. So there, yeah, Anthony Dawson as Amos Stavello Blofeld, because Blofeld's in it, who's giving orders and that to the Spectre agents. He's sort of like um, Yeah, played Professor Dent in Doctor No. I think Professor Dent's the dude who fucking gets shot by Bond, and who tries to like shoot James Bond in bed and that. But Bond obviously knows, like, oh yeah, it's coming, so he gets his fucking like pillars arranged to look like he's sleeping there, and then waits for him to come in, and that's what he'll play like the um, Blofeld. You don't see Blofeld's face. It's one of them like the claw. You only see his hand stroking the cat. But anyway, probably get on with the spoilers and that. Let's get this sorted. There we go. Spoilers on. But used to do the review though. Great film. As I say, he's got Bond kicking ass and that shit. And so yeah, here we go to the spoilers and that. Yeah, spoilers. So, yeah. Being warned. So yeah, it starts off like on a Spectre training ground where you see what appears to be Sean Connery in that, like, it's trying to like um find his way sort of through a maze outside, sort of thing. Well, um, oh, Robert Shaw character, he's sort of like hunts him down and that and grots him, and then you see like no, it's not Bond, it's not Sean Connery, it's another dude just wearing a Sean Connery mask, where takes it off and that, and it's just like a training sort of exercise. Well, then Bond sort of theme comes up and that, and it's surprisingly it's not Russia from Love. The version I got, it is the Bond theme again. But Russia with Love gets played at the end, sort of thing. But yeah, the beginning is just the Bond theme. So intros and that roll out, and you see a chess match going on where it's um, oh, Baldic, Shebo, and Kronstein, who's playing chess and that, and he's obviously a, a chess grandmaster, so he like wins, and goes to like after he wins, he goes to the sort of office room of Blofeld to like tell his plan of getting the they're called the Lecter, which is an electric decoding machine because it's back in the 60s and that. So electric decoding machines were like fucking top fucking technology in that. Well, his plan, because Spectre is like an underground operations and that, and so he's gonna get the British and Russians to look like they've stolen it. Well, yeah, like a Russian defector and a British agent to steal this Lecter, which is an electric decoding machine, and then steal it off them and make it look like they've sort of committed suicide and that. Well, to do this, then um, Blofeld gets what's her name? Loretta Lana as Rosetta Klebb, who is like a Russian um, military recruiter and that, but the Russians don't know she's um, a Spectre agent now, and so she goes and gets Shaw, Robert Shaw, who is like a Spectre agent in that. He's an operative, so she like gets him and then recruits this Russian agent who, well, what's her name? Yeah, Tanya Romanova, played by Daniel Beachy, Barachi, and then dubbed by Barbara Jefford. But yeah, she's a consulate clerk where this um, of like the Russian sort of. So she's a Russian like agent in that, but she works at the consulate and she sort of like knows where this electric decoder is and that. And so she's told that air mission is to give this Russian decoding machine over to Bond, and she needs to defect. She probably thinks like she's going to be a sleeper agent, and this is her cover to get to Britain and act like she's a good guy. But anyway, she's Russian, and so she just does exactly what she's told in that. So it cuts to Bond, who's getting off with his girlfriend from you saw in Doctor No and that. And he sort of like gets the call to like, yeah, get your ass to you know, you got a mission. So anyway, Bond goes to see M in that, and like gets a kill, or gets a case off kill, should I say? Yeah, and he's told like the Russian operative woman will defect in that with the electric decoder if Bond helps her back to England, and they make out like she's madly in love with him. So she only wants James Bond to be sent. Well, anyway, they know it's a bit of a trap and that, but they have to go for it because it's like, well, there's a chance of getting this Russian decoding machine. So he goes to like Istanbul, like in Turkey, to the contact the Russian operative because the consulate she's working in is in Istanbul, a Russian consulate in Istanbul, Turkey, and that. So he like goes and gets like his contact, who nearly gets blown up and that. Luckily enough, he's about to have a bit of nookie, and he's not sitting where he should be sitting, and so he don't get killed. And then Bond and the like contact who he goes see, they go and spy on the Russians to see like what's happening and that, and sees like some dudes and that there. Oh, it's like, oh yeah, he's or the assassin and that, you know. But anyway, Bond and his contact mate, they go to a gypsy camp and like watching these women fight because they were arguing over a bloke and that. And so they're having a fight over it. And then they get attacked, which is because like all that is like pretty much not much action apart from like really the first bit where you see Bond getting grotted, but and now you're seeing like women fighting, which they do a good job, but the women, and so it's not going to be the greatest of fights you're ever going to see. But for women's standards, it is fucking top quality women's standard fighting and that. But the probably no, yeah, it's getting a bit boring and that now. And the action that we've seen isn't exactly that great, or not exactly top quality. So anyway, this is where like they get raided. The camp gets raided by these warring other tribe of fucking Turkish sort of people. Or like I think they're being paid, or if they're being paid, I think they're just doing it because they don't like the doodles, the head of the gypsy camp. For some reason, they attack the base and that, and so there's quite a bit of action. Now this is where like the Bond films, like made sort of action films, have to fucking step up because like it's a bit like a war that goes on, a little mini war in this gypsy camp and that, and the Russian, the Spectre agent who is like working for Spectre, he's making sure that Bond don't get killed because they need him to, get the decoding machine for later and then frame him. Well, anyway, big fight goes on and that, and then they get overwhelmed and then the fuck off sort of thing because it's like, oh yeah, it's too fucking like crazy because Bond helps like beat up a few and shoots a few and that shit, and then like Bond and the operative, they're like I think to help the gypsy camp out or just to make sure this dude ain't gonna be hassling Bond much in that. They go find his hideout and that, and he's got a like private sort of escape hatch that he uses, which is got like a picture of a woman's face where he comes out of her mouth, and this is probably famous where like they get some dudes to ring the bell and that make it look like they're gonna go raid his flat and that, and so like he comes out of this like third story window with a rope, and as he's sort of like climbing out and that, he gets shot by the operative who like what wants to do it for his honor and that. The contact operative of who Bond's mates with and that, or like they went to the gypsy camp. His arm got shot at the gypsy camp, and so like he wasn't really sure if he could make the shot, but he makes it anyway. And the dude falls from the rope, and then he's shot, and so like yeah, he's pretty much dead. And so then like yeah, Bond does a great like one liner where he's like, oh yeah, she should have kept her mouth shut. Yeah. Like this is where sort of like they started getting a bit sort of fruity with their sort of one liners where it's all like, oh yeah, bit of sexual innuendo and a bit of sort of sexist sort of commentary, but yeah, this is what the Bond films fucking are all about. Yeah. Well, anyway, um, Bond goes back to the hotel room because it's like, oh yeah, got rid of the operative or the leader of the operatives who are raiding the gypsy camp, trying to kill Bond, I think, and that for some reason. But when he gets there, he sees sort of like in the next room and that, or else it could be his room, but it's big, massive because he gets the honeymoon suite and that because his room that he gets at first is bugged in that, and so he wants to change it. So he goes to the honeymoon suite where Tanya, who is the operative, she's in the hotel and she's sort of in the bed and that. He's probably not too bothered how she got there because she's a Russian agent and that. So he's thinking, oh yeah, she knows how to get into like hotel rooms and that. And then yeah, he gives her some like loving, and then Bond and Tanya go to a cathedral sort of place, a big thing to get this info sort of map on where the decoding machine is in the Russian consulate place, I think, in that, or where the best place to fucking put a bomb or something like that. Anyway, well, they get it in that, but like a Russian agent gets killed by the Spectre agent and that because he's was gonna take the info away and that, but the Spectre agent needs Bond to get this information to get the decoding machine. So anyway, Bond is questioning. So well, the cutscene to they're on a ferry and Bond is questioning Tanya about the decoding machine and that, and she's like answering the questions and that in a tape recorder that they send back to London and that, which they listen to and that, and then there's a bit of a sort of where Tanya's wanting Bond to like give her some loving and all that, and then the tape sort of gets stopped and that. Another great Bond sort of moment and that. Yeah, not halfway through yet, sort of thing. Yeah, and so Bond and that, the plan to go to the Russian consulate and that to retrieve the decoder, and there's like a bomb that gets placed. So when Bond goes to the Russian embassy in that or consulate, um, the bomb sort of gives him that distraction because the place seems like it's gonna be collapsing nearly, so he can go get the decoder, and him and Tanya in that they leave to get on a train to go out of Turkey and back to London, sort of thing. But they're gonna like stop off before they get to the border because now the border's checked. But anyway, that's the train that's going to take them to the Turkish border. Anyway, well, the Bond and the contact on the train see like there's a Russian guard, so they like hold him up like hostage sort of thing in one of the trains, compartments and that. And Bond's contact dude, he's sort of like there, who's gonna be sort of looking over him to make sure he ain't escaping or letting anyone know. He's sort of like hostage situation. He's having to like maintain the like guard. Well, anyway, Robert Shaw's character, who plays like the Spectre agent, he fucking gets on the train and that, and kills Bond's contact dude and the Russian guard sort of thing. Makes it look like they've killed each other, and so it don't look all that suspicious. Well, anyway, Bond gets told this and that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, fuck," sort of thing, like he would be. And they have a drop-off point where they were going to stop and get other transport to the Turkish sort of border, but they don't do that sort of thing because he's dead. And the son, well, one of his sons, um, goes to the train station and the train stops and Bond like talks to him and that and explains like, oh yeah, shit, your dad's dead sort of thing and that. And sorry about that, but can you still help me get out of Turkey, get to the border and that? So anyway, yeah, the son was like, oh yeah, okay then, sort of thing. And yeah, and Bond questions Tanya, sort of thing, where he gives her a pimp slap just to make sure she fucking gonna be telling no lies and that. But she sort of is in the dark because she just thinks she's supposed to help Bond and that defect defect with Bond's help. She thinks that her mission is to defect to England with Bond's help with the decoding machine. And so anyway, yeah, Bond says like get well, he says to the son and that to contact headquarters in London to get a British contact at the next station. So anyway, at the next station, sort of thing, Bond's looking for the contact, but the Spectre agent played by is it Robert Shaw? I think yeah, by Robert Shaw. He kills the British contact and pretends to be the British contact to help Bond get out of Turkey and that. And so they get on the train and that. And whilst they're having a meal, Robert Shaw character, he fucking drugs Tivanya's drink and that with a knockout pill. That's like putting a drink and that because they're having lunch and that on the train. So anyway, when Tanya starts feeling drugged and sleepy. Bond sort of like is like, what the fuck you drugged her for in that? Because he knows, oh yeah, she ain't that tired. Well, anyway, Robert Shaw's character makes out like, oh yeah, well, we've only got one escape placement, and so two of you can't escape, only one of you can. And so Bond's like, yeah, all right then. And so whilst Robert Shaw's like characters explaining the escape plan, Bond, Sean Connery, like puts his head down a bit to look at the map a bit more closely, and Robert Shaw's character then smashes the back of his neck with his gun that he like slides out of his but is it an ankle holster? But it's not on the ankle, but it's the one on the leg, like the calf muscle sort of thing strapped, the bottom leg holster thing. Well, anyway, knocks like Bond out and that. And this is a great part in this film because this is where like the action starts to fucking and get sort of fucking interesting and fucking is like a Bond film like you usually see with all the fucking thrills and rides and fucking explosions and fucking helicopters fucking and that shit. Right? Yeah. Well, anyway, when Bond wakes up and that, the Spectre up and that, as Bond like at gunpoint and that, and he's got Bond's gun and that to make it look like he shot himself and that with his own gun. But as like the talking and that, because the Spectre agent played by Robert Shaw, fucking great acting, like, and both of them fucking do a right good fight scene in that. But their acting is great because they make it like proper fucking case of the Spectre up wants to really rub Bond's face in it, you know, get a good story to tell the Spectre ups what he did to Bond and that because he wants him to like kiss his shoe and that. Well, anyway, Bond, he's all like, well, I want a cigarette. He's all right to have a cigarette. And he's like, no. The Spectre agent's like, no, no way. Well, then Bond's like, oh, well, because he got a case given to him by Q, and that's like a gadget sort of shit that he shows him. And he says, like, oh, yeah, there's 50 gold sovereigns in the case that's like hidden. But in case you need some money in that, you can get the gold sovereigns. Well, anyway, Bond's like, oh, yeah, I've got like 50 gold sovereigns I can get you in that for a sig. So he's the Spec Ops like, all right, well, let's see a minute. And so like Bond shows him, and then he's like, oh, I've got some other in another case. I'll get that, but Robert Shaw's character, he's all like, oh no, I'll get it. And the thing you don't know is this case is booby trapped, where if you don't turn the lock sort of briefcase lock handle things right, it explodes tear gas into your face. Well, anyway, Robert Shaw, he opens it, gets tear gas in his face, where then Bond like grabs his fucking gun and that, and so he can't shoot him. And then they have a like bit of a wrestling match, bit of a fight going on. Now this fight scene on the train is fucking well fucking choreographed and I think a bit ad libbed and all because some fights is better to ad-lib a bit, and so it looks more realistic. And so yeah, choreographed and a bit of ad-lib, and that like the fight scene stands up to today's standards. So you got like a great fight scene going on, and then you have a bit where Robert Shaw, the Spectre operative, gets Bond, like Sean Connery, in like a bit of it's a headlock, but where he's got his arms behind his back sort of thing. Like a forearm Nelson thing, whatever it's called. But whilst he's done going like that, he then sort of gets his grot out of his watch, which is, if you don't know what a grot is just a thin bit of metal wire, like a piano wire string or a guitar wire or even a bit of rope. But this one's metal because it comes out of his watch. Where if you've seen Bond films or any sort of spy films, you always show you the grot watch where you pull it out and just wrap it around someone's neck and choke them to death. Well, anyway, he wraps it around Bond's neck and that, and he's fucking choking him and that. Well, Bond, in the suitcase that he's also got like a hidden dagger that he flicks out and then stabs Robert Shaw in the like shoulder, sort of, well, top of the shoulder or on the arm, where he gets a bit fucked up and that loses his because Bond really like sticks it in his arm, and so he loses sort of his grip a bit. Where you would do if you've got like a 6-inch blade rammed into your sort of top of your bicep sort of thing, and gets sort of Bond around him sort of thing, or Bond gets sort of out of his sort of grot sort of thing, gets behind Robert Shaw and then chokes him with his own grot sort of thing and like kills him. Which, as I say, something, that is like one of the best fight scenes that like you're gonna see sort of thing. And it was done in the 60s, so obviously there is better fight scenes that have been done and that more spectacular and more sort of hard hitting, but it's still one of the great fight scenes that you're gonna see. And both Robert Shaw and Sean Connery, and I think Sean Connery had a stunt dude and all. And that, but yeah, they all made that scene look like realistic as possible. If you don't like know much about fight scenes and that, watch that fight scene and that'll show you sort of like where you got to get realism but with explosive action, and that scene is like one of the best fight scenes, as I say. Obviously you've got like martial art fight scenes like Enter the Dragon and like Jackie Chan sort of fucking Armor of God fight scenes where obviously they are better because they're like longer and more explosive. But as I say, that train fight scene is fucking one of the best. And so yeah, so Bond grots the Spectre up And then Tanya, the Bond girl, she's passed out, and so Bond tries to wake her up, but she's still drowsy as fuck, and so she ain't all that active in that. But Bond sort of like gets her out off the train because Robert Shaw's character had like a drop off point where he was going to get off and get a lift back to Spectre headquarters and that with the oh yeah, the decoding machine, yeah, because the plan was for Robert Shaw's character to kill Bond and to kill Tanya on the train, make it look like a suicide fucking pact sort of thing, and then escape with the decoding machine, and then so fucking the British and the Russians would have thought that their agents had sort of fucking or the rest of the world would have thought a British and a Russian agent tried to steal a decoding machine, got guilty, committed suicide, and the machine got lost. But because Bond kills the Spectre up, he gets off the train and like gets the van and beats up some dudes and that to get the van off them and that. Puts Tanya in the back of the van that's got like loads of flowers in its sort of because it's one of them open van back trailer things, so got loads of flowers in and that. Well, whilst like driving and that, because it's going to take a day or two, because they're wanting to go to Venice and that, and so the have a day or two's drive, I think, and so the next day, like the or it could be the same day, but later on in the day, like a helicopter tracks them down and that because they're probably fucking wondering where fucking the Spectre people are wondering where their Spectre up has gone, and then they probably found him dead and that, and then the dudes that got beat up would be like, "Oh yeah, Bond beat us up," and so they took, and so like, right, well, let's find Bond and that. So fucking they send out like an helicopter that's fucking because there's where the action is and that shit. Like an helicopter sort of tracks them down because they probably know what van to look out for. Then they start firing missiles and that, but they're like missing that. And then like Bond, he fucking stops the van and gets out and starts running to get the helicopter to chase him and that. And then like he's got this rifle that fucking he like sets up and that. And then he shoots one of the fucking pilot or he's probably not the pilot, but the co-pilot, should I say. He shoots the co-pilot who's dropping hand grenades at this point because I think he's run out of rockets because the helicopter is probably just like a normal thingy 2-seater helicopter, and so it ain't got all that many missiles on it. But they're using hand grenades at this stage. Well, Bond shoots one whilst he's going to drop an hand grenade, and so he drops it into the fucking helicopter fucking cockpit, and the can't explodes, takes down the helicopter and that. And then Bond like carries on in the van and gets on a boat to go to Venice. And at this point, the chess Grand Wizard Master fucking dude gets called in to have a talk with Blofeld and that. And there's also the like old woman who's working for Spectre, who's gonna be the or she is the like general or somewhat of the Russian army. She's a general, but obviously she's a double agent on Spectre. Although she works for Spectre, but anyway, they have both them in because it's all going tits up by this stage and that. And Blofeld's like, "Oh yeah, I'm pissed off," sort of thing. But obviously, he doesn't say that. But he's like, "Right, well, one of you two," or he's like, "Well, what happened in that?" And then the like Czechoslovakian chess master says like, "Oh yeah, well, the plan it should have worked, and that everything I did was to perfection." And then the female Russian general who was the Spectre op called number 3 because she's number 3 and he's number 5. She's all like, "Well, your plan would have gone great, but James Bond has fucked it up and that, and so you didn't fucking allow for James Bond in your fucking plan to like be able to like, obviously she don't say this, but because Bond was able to just fuck up the Spectre agent and that on the train and escape with the decoding machine, the sort of kill him by giving him a knife bolt where it's poisoned in the tip, where you saw in Kingsman, where he had like a poison tipped dagger in his shoe and that. Well, number 5 is out now. He's dead. Like his Russian, his Czechoslovakian chess grandmaster, fucking wizard chess master days are over. So Bond and Tanya and that, they're like cruising on this boat and that, and like there's enough oil cans and that for them, or petrol cans and that, to get them to Venice and that. But Spectre boat agents and that, led by like the dude who is in charge of the Spectre like training sort of place. He's in there leading them, and so he fucking like gets them to fire these like oh fucking mortars. Yeah, they've got mortars on the boat, and so they're firing these mortar grenades, and they're exploding, but they're exploding a bit too close, and so like the dude's telling them, like, look, we need to stop the boat, not blow it up, because he don't want to damage the electric decoding machine. So he just wants to blow up the boat enough that it'll stop, but not that too much that he'll shatter the boat in pieces. So anyway, like they start shooting in that, and they shoot the oil can or petrol cans or whatever in that, and luckily enough they don't explode, but they're leaking, and so Bond like kicks them into the water and that, like releases them off the back of the boat, and then like slows down sort of thing, and then he's been told, "Oh yeah, your hands up," and that. Well, whilst he's puts his hands up, he grabs a flare gun and shoots the barrels. Which, if you've seen Bond films, it's a famous scene where you just see the water fucking get set on fire with explosion of the um, gas, petrol, or oil. I think it's, or it could be oil actually, but I don't know. Yeah, it's oil or petrol, one of the two. Anyway, that fucking, it could be petrol oil, maybe, like, but that just sets on fire, and then like sets the other boats on fire and that, and then they're all like getting set on fire, and Bond just burns off, sort of thing, and that, and then Bond and Tanya like get to Venice, get an hotel room and that, and then the female Spectre pulls the Russian general and that. Is in the room, sort of dressed up. Well, she enters the room dressed up as a maid. Well, Bond don't know fucking like that well, so he didn't recognize fucking she's like a Spectre agent in that at first, sort of thing. And so she like pulls a gun on him and like gets the machine and that, and tells like Tanya to go outside and that. Well, Tanya sort of like pretends to go outside, but then she like knocks the gun out of Kleb, the character's name is Air Hands in that, where she fucking like is a bit fucking like gutted and that, and is about to get the gun, but Bond like rushes her, and so she like clicks her sort of boot with the little poison dagger thing out of the toe heel, sort of like, and Bond grabs a chair in that to like hold her back in that, and because she's small, she can't like reach him in that, but she's trying to kick him, and then Tanya fucking shoots Kleb character because I don't know if she thinks that the mission is still to get to London with defecting and that with the machine. And so, or she's just thinking, fuck it, I don't want to go back to Russia or to like Istanbul at the Russian consulate. So she shoots the Kleb character, and Bond and Tanya sort of like going to gondolier at the end and sail off, like with sort of footage that got filmed of them in the honeymoon suite that they like set up a hidden camera to um, think probably blackmail Tanya, I think it was, maybe to keep her mouth shut or something. When she found out that, like, oh yeah, she was getting used by Spectre. But Bond saves the day, and obviously they make it back to London, and that's because like Bond, it's Goldfinger. Goldfinger's the next one, so yeah, obviously Bond makes it back to London to set out to defeat Goldfinger, but for the next instalment, and that. But yeah, great film though, great film. Oh yeah, and then obviously fucking From Russia with Love gets played at the end. Oh yeah, great film though. Bit complicated to fucking follow the plot line, but I've seen it loads of times and that. So fucking, I was like pretty well versed on what happens, but I sort of like write it down because it was one of them where if I hadn't written down in that, I'd have fucking like forgot bits of that because, as I say, yeah, it's one of them films where fucking you got to like fucking know sort of like the plot line of the film, and it's like, oh yeah, shit, look at what's happening now. But when I first watched it, I didn't really like follow the plot line that much. I was just fucking watching it for the action and that. But you know, that's when I was in my teens and that. You know, it was more like, yeah, fuck, I don't give a fuck what's happening. Is Bond kicking ass? Yeah. Oh yeah, here we go. Then I'll be watching it. Oh, fucking share the screen there, and just bring it out of it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh yeah, and like there's a bit of belly dancing and all. If you see, yeah, yeah, that's at the like gypsy camp. Yeah, Bond gets a belly dance, fucking dance performer dancing near him and that. But yeah, great film though. One of them films where you bit of a slow burn, as I say. One of them where you got to follow like the like plot line a bit at first because when it all kicks off and that, then it's like, oh yeah, okay, understand a bit. So yeah, I'm still like not exactly sure why the gypsy camp got raided, but I'm sure it was to kill Bond. Or if you wanted to kill Bond, it was to fucking fuck up the mission, innit? anyway because or to fuck up that gypsy camp anyway because fucking they had a mission to fucking like fuck the gypsy camp over and that. But, yeah, but great fucking action scene in that like little war battle that goes on. And that. As I say, these Bond films were like making action films having to step up a notch or two. Because like, oh yeah, you just can't have someone fucking like punching someone, shooting, and then it all over. Like, right, we need punching, shooting, stabbing, explosion, people falling off fucking like rooftops and all that shit. And pretty much the westerns probably fucking did a lot of the shooting and explosion parts and that, and a bit of like fighting and that. But the Bond films did make it more sort of like where you had to get like other stuff going on and that with crazy like gadgets and other sort of crazy stuff where Bond would use like more of his skill in beating the shadow people than brute force, and so he had to like do a lot of crazy shit where the writers and that would to come up with it and that would have to like all right, we'll have to do the sort of like fight scene, but we'll add a twist in here and there. But yeah, From Russia with Love though, great film. Like one of them A plus fucking plus for me. But all the Bond films are in the A plus categories. But yeah, some are more A plus than others. But it's a great film. I say the slow parts of the film where it's pretty much talking and that, but there is fucking really good action parts in it, and it was done in the '60s and that, and so there ain't gonna be fucking no CGI'd explosions. So all the explosions was fucking done with real explosives. Some in the later films, they were done on miniatures, but there were still real explosions anyway. But I think on this one, like the helicopter would have been a little miniature that got exploded. But you never know because it could have been where it's like right, well, to make it look really realistic, we need to get a fucking real helicopter and explode it. But usually with the Bond films, the miniatures, but they're done real good that you can't really tell the miniatures until you get told, oh yeah, that is a miniature, and then when you look really closely, it's like, oh yeah, it does seem to be a bit sort of like not as detailed well, very detailed, but sometimes the way it moves, it's like, oh yeah, that just didn't seem to move exactly right, and it's because it's a miniature. But definitely, there was no miniatures used for the boat scene in this. That because when they're on fire, you see like people on the boat, and so you know they are full size boats that they're like setting on fire. Or if they're not setting on fire, that they're definitely fucking making it appear that they're being set on fire. I think they probably did. You know, had quite a few explosions and that. Fucking great. Probably one of the best boats scene fucking explosions you're gonna see. Yeah, Roger Moore. I mean, yeah, Sean Connery looking a bit like Roger Moore, the sort of like angle where because like Roger Moore, you usually used to do it like that, but that was sort of like the Bond pose in that. So yeah, I think Sean Connery is more known for like having the gun pointed a bit lower down towards more of his elbow. Well, his hand is more towards his elbow, sort of thing. But he's more relaxed. But still, great poster though. Great poster. Great film. I want to film where it's like 11 out of 10. And obviously, like there is some better films out there, and maybe even some better Bond films. But oh, it's great though. It is a classic Bond film. It's one of them where if you want to like watch some Bond films and that, yeah, From Russia with Love, fucking great film. There's a lot of fucking, say, good fight scenes, explosions, bit of a slow burn because I think there was like right, we don't know if we're gonna do Bond more suspense thriller or we're gonna do him action packed. So they did a bit of both. And later on in the Bond films, they do go for more action packed sort of fucking Bond. Where this, as I say, it's more realistic. It's bit more grounded because the like gadgets Bond uses in this, they are pretty much like um, existing. Like they're not sort of like where you're like, oh yeah, like with the invisible car that Pierce Brosnan had in oh no I forget which Bond film. I'll be reviewing it though, don't you worry, because I've got it in that. Like I've got all the Bond films, apart from obviously No Time to Die. But I reviewed that from pictures or cinema sort of thing. So yeah, I've got all the Bond films. Yeah, the Pierce Brosnan one, I forget, but like, yeah, had an invisible car, and it's like, yeah, possible, but and then, like Moonraker, there was a lot of like laser guns getting shot off and that. Where well, yeah, possible, but where they're like aliens, and maybe in its day, the exploding tear gas canister that like is in a briefcase. Oh, spoiler! But well, there's not much of a spoiler because you find out like in like the first sort of like 10 minutes or whatever. Oh yeah, this briefcase it's got these gadgets in because it has a knife and all that like comes out of the side. So like the pretty realistic gadgets and that because most of the gadgets are like um, made before the Bond films. They just put the gadgets in to the Bond films, and then there was a few gadgets that got sort of made for the Bond films, or like they get sort of designed to make it look like it works and that, and then someone will be like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea. We'll make that." Because I forget which Bond film, but he uses an underwater camera. It's one of the Sean Connery ones because it was done in the 60s, 70s or something. And they made an underwater camera. Well, like a portable one anyway, because they've had like underwater cameras, but not a portable one. But, yeah, then there's like little fucking spy cameras that they had and all that. But they was done for it. But yeah, great film though, great film. I must see. I must see. Fucking. Well, anyway, I'll end it there. So, thanks for watching. Cheers.